Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Okay, so we're going to talk about Rachel now. So that leads us, to the Rachel Morin case that we've covered so intensively. We really have, right from the minute that Rachel went missing and was found murdered on the Morin Trail in Maryland. She'd gone for a walk, a hike, or a run. We're not sure if it's a walk or a run. And she was taken off the trail by this twonk, Victor the Viper. So remember when this first happened, and then the police announced that they had DNA from a cat. Now, I wanted to show this picture because it took ages to find Victor. So Rachel Morin was murdered, not this August just gone, but the August before. And he was only arrested this year. But again, it was good police work because he's an itinerant. He travels all over the place. He's like a ghost, isn't he? He didn't have a car. He was traveling by train and Greyhound bus and this, that, and the other, all over America. And he seemed to have some family in Maryland. Again, we don't know all the details yet. We won't until the case comes to trial. But then at some point, they released this photo fit of him, which, to be honest, when he was arrested, I just thought it looks absolutely nothing like him. It looks a bit more, this is him when he was younger. The photo fit and the his younger picture look alike. Now, maybe he changed his appearance by the time. This is his mugshot. But his eyes are so much more intense, aren't they? Well, of course, by then, maybe he hadn't committed murder on this photo. He committed murder, and by now, he's committed at least 2 murders and other serious offences. That changes you as a person. It's got to change you as a person, hasn't it? His eyes, now he's got those eyes. He hasn't really got them here. He's got cold eyes here. But here he's got those like mad eyes, those fucking terrifying eyes. And again, probably the eyes were the last sight that poor Rachel saw. Murder must change you, mustn't it? Living like that, knowing what you've done, as much as you might think you don't care, or it's got to change you. And of course, on his photo fit, he does look like harsh, he looks sort of contemptuous, but he doesn't look like that, I don't think. Maybe the nose is quite good, isn't it? But the eyes, it's the eyes that do it, isn't it? And of course, he changed his hair. Here he had this sort of almost military haircut, and here he's grown his hair. He probably did that on purpose and grew a beard and a moustache. It's easy to change, even for a man. It's quite easy to change your appearance. And I remember reading a book about disguises, that people use. And they were saying, it's easy, just one distinctive thing is like if you put on a blonde wig or whatever, people will remember that blonde wig. They won't necessarily remember all the other things about you. Or if you have a bald head, or they'll remember a bushy beard, or people remember standout things. So if you put one thing on in your disguise, or grow your beard, or dye your hair blonde, people remember that, and they don't necessarily remember all the rest of you. It's very difficult to do it's very difficult to get a photo fit right, isn't it? But anyway, this was the photo fit of Victor the Viper, and this is his mugshot. So I think there are some similarities, but the eyes, look at his eyes. There's a difference between his eyes there and his eyes there. He's definitely, that's a man who has seen hell almost. He's going to hell. He knows he's going to hell. His eyes are fevered, aren't they? This is a man now that's murdered at least 2 people that we know of. Horrible man. So now what I wanted to show you then, so we're going to have a look at how Rachel's mum met with Donald Trump. Let's have a look. Let me put some more windows down. So I hope he follows through with what he's promised to follow through with, because, you know, he has promised that he's going to do this. So I hope he does it. And if he can do that, then there will be something positive about his presidency. Okay, let's just have a look at this video.
Agents say that morale is through the roof ahead of Trump's return to the White House, but Democrat-led cities are already racing to prevent the deportation of illegal immigrants. Our next guest is the mother of Rachel Morin, the mother of the 5 who was allegedly murdered by an illegal immigrant last year. Patty Morin, her mother, joins us now. Patty, thank you so much for giving us some time this morning. I know nothing will ever bring your daughter back, but how do you feel about the former president making these appointments now to start the deportation process and get these criminals out of our country?
I am so happy. And President Trump already has a 4-year record of saying what he's going to do and then keeping his word. Mm-hmm. And the very fact that he listened to the cries of mothers and took it to heart and said that he was going to do this to protect not only our national security, but...
You know, it's hard not to be moved by that, isn't it? It's very hard not to be moved by that, her grief.
Americans and American families. Mm-hmm. I'm beyond words. I am so grateful because I know President Trump will keep his word. And
I hope so.
Our country.
Patty, what did the former president, now the president-elect, promise you when you finally had the opportunity to meet him?
When I spoke with him, one of the first things he said was, we're going to close the borders. We're going to bring justice for Rachel and for the other families. And I think that the laws that are going to be passed should be nonpartisan because it affects every American. But I do believe that our families that have lost the ultimate lost life, that we should have bipartisan support. Mm-hmm. And I was really amazed when I went and spoke at a judiciary committee and to see the divide on the left. They were ridiculing and downplaying our grief and accusing us of being bribed to come and speak before them.
I mean, that's a big misjudgment, isn't it, by Kamala Harris and by the Democrats too, because these were such high-profile cases. Another one as well is another young girl that was killed by 2 illegal immigrants, a 14, 15-year-old girl. I haven't even covered that yet. You know, I haven't got around to covering that. So I think that's a massive, you know, watching Rachel's mum talk now, I just think that really, you know, this immigration thing, maybe like the way that's how she felt. She's saying that the left were ridiculing them. I mean, surely not. You know, you can't believe that they would be doing that. So no wonder that Donald won, really. I mean, this has obviously been a big divide. And the Rachel Morin case and the Lake and Riley case in particular are big, massive cases in America. I mean, we've taken an interest in them and followed them all over the world, haven't we? But in America in particular, then, you know, they're at the heart of this whole debate. So maybe the left just didn't take it seriously enough.
The committee, that just opened up my eyes at how divided our country is. Yeah. And so I'm very grateful that President Trump.
You know, Patty, you bring up an interesting point, because you talk about the Democrats and how they reacted to you at the committee. ever since he has now become President-elect Trump. This is what some of the governors are saying. Watch.
We were involved in specifically 122 lawsuits with the Trump administration. But we know their playbook. We know what they're going to do.
You come for my people. You come through me.
If you try to harm New Yorkers or roll back their rights, I will fight you every step of the way.
If there is any attack on the Garden State or on any of its communities from Washington, I will fight back with every fiber of my being.
I mean, they're saying if you come for our people, what about the American citizens? What about your daughter?
Yeah, see, what people don't understand is that sanctuary cities are actually a Middle Eastern religious cultural thing. And there are only 4 countries in the world that have sanctuary cities: the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and Italy. And can you think of Middle Eastern?
Where's the sanctuary states in the United Kingdom then? What's she talking about? Sanctuary states? I've never heard of a sanctuary state in the United Kingdom. Let's have a look. All right, so there's a lot of sanctuary states in the United States, but what are sanctuary cities? So a sanctuary city is a municipality that limits or denies its cooperation with the national government in enforcing immigration law. What's a sanctuary city in the UK? She said the UK has them. Oh, city of sanctuary. Oh, they're... How many? There are city of sanctuary groups established in Bradford, Bristol, Chester, Coventry, Derby, Huddersfield, Hull, Ipswich, Leicester, London, Nottingham, Oxford, Sheffield, Swansea, and Wakefield. Did you know about that? No, I think I'm quite politically aware, and I didn't know about that. Now, I can feel a video coming on about, I can't go into it, I've still, I've been on live for quite a while and I've still got to finish off this about Rachel. But I don't know about you. I know there's a lot of UK viewers watching this. Did you know that we've got city of sanctuary groups in those areas? And a city of sanctuary group or a city of sanctuary state. City of... Oh, Joe, I really need to do a video about this, research it properly, because I do believe in immigration. I'm not a completely out-and-out anti-immigration person, as you know. And I don't like... But the thing is, what I don't understand sometimes about the UK government, the Spanish government, any government, is you cannot just pretend that nothing's happening. This is what I feel is happening at the moment. It's no good just putting your fingers in your ears and saying, no, like, oh no, let's not even look at this, or let's not even talk about this. You've got to talk about it. You can't ignore that it's even happening. I can't believe I've just learnt something there that I didn't even know at my advanced stage. And a person who does take an interest in politics, it's not as if I don't, but it's something that I've never heard of before. So I will be looking at that in a video. That'll be a contentious one, won't it?
Country that would want to destabilize and weaken these countries. Mm-hmm. And if you look, sanctuary cities, America has 190 sanctuary cities in 11 states. And in those states, because of this invasion of illegal immigrants, crime has not even doubled. It's like 800% increase, and it overflows to other states and other cities. So it's not just their people and their state. It is affecting every state. And I think something has to be done about it.
Let's talk about the background of this suspect, Victor Martinez Hernandez. He illegally crossed the border back in 2023. He's wanted for murder in El Salvador, charged with rape and murder.
Yeah, here he is, Victor the Viper. Looks nothing like that bloody photo thing. That's him when he was arrested. We watched the video of him being arrested. It was such a fabulous moment. I mean, and that was for us. God knows how it felt for the family of Rachel, to finally see him being arrested and at least know that he's not at large anymore. Because for all that time, from August through to when he was actually finally arrested a couple of months ago, he was out there eating pizza, drinking, working, having a normal life, while Rachel and her 5 children's lives were completely disrupted. So I don't think anyone would disagree that this guy should never have got over the border. I mean, how did he get over the border when he already had a murder charge against him? Now, you've got to remember, that is the border's fault, isn't it? So whoever's doing the border was doing it wrong. Apparently got him after his 3rd time of trying. And he, wrote this havoc.
Of your daughter. He has ties to gangs as well. So he had already committed murder in his home country. He comes to America, has a fresh start, and does it again.
Yes. And they didn't do just the basic policies and laws. They were told actually not to do them and to fast track as many immigrants into the country as possible. If they had just did the standard DNA swab, they would have found out all that information. They had 3 opportunities.
Exactly. What's the point of DNA if you're not going to use it at the border? The first thing when someone says they want to come over your border, you give them a DNA swab and put them through the DNA database. He would have gone, wanted for murder. Why didn't they do that? I don't understand this. I must admit, I don't understand this. I'm going to really look into those sanctuary cities because now in America, states are controlled by them. They're autonomous up to a point, aren't they? But in the UK, they're not. Counties or cities, they're not autonomous. They have to follow the government guidelines, don't they? They can't turn around and say, oh, in our city, oh, well, maybe the law in Britain is such and such, but in our city we're doing it this way. Shouldn't be able to do that in Britain.
At the border. And it was actually the 4th time when he was a gotaway. But if they had done it at any of those other 3 times, it could have saved my daughter's life.
Yeah.
But they're more interested in destabilizing our country. For what reason, God only knows. But it's unconscionable. I can't imagine that you're willing to give up and have casualties for the sake of whatever your political agenda is.
It's not right. Patty, we continue to pray for you. We want justice for Rachel, and I'm hoping that the former president can do just that. Thank you so much for giving us some time.
So there you go. Now we're going to have a look at DJ himself, Donald Trump, what he had to say about it on his YouTube channel. He actually referred to Victor as a Kamala Harris illegal immigrant.
not just my daughter, but we've actually had 2 in the same.
Sorry, can I just say, this is the other girl that this guy's got on his T-shirt. He must be a relative. This is the other girl, 12 years old, was killed by 2 illegal immigrants as well. I need to look at her case in another video.
Same county that we're from, where illegal immigrants have come in and have caused rape and murder of our citizens. And the reason why I came here today and I accepted the invitation is because I really want our words to be heard, and I really want you to take to heart what we're saying. We're not here for a political stand, although we are. We're here because we're losing our moms, our daughters, our children to criminals.
No, sorry, but I don't like Donald Trump, as you know. But if he can help in that, that's very
controversial topic, immigration.
You can't get much more emotive than a mother talking about, seeing her child, her adult child's body. You can't get any more emotional than that, can you? You can't get any more emotive than that. So, Donald Trump, a little message for you. I hope you're going to do what you said you're going to do. Hope then that you do close the borders. But I mean, letting in legal immigrants, of course. Immigration is important. Some people are genuine refugees, so I don't believe in banning all immigration, but I cannot believe that a person who's already murdered someone can get into a country. That's me. In this technological day and age, it's so easy, isn't it? A DNA swab, a fingerprint, or the eye thing, or whatever. It's not that it can't be done now, so I don't understand why it's not being done. The other thing I'd like to see Donald, put his money where his mouth is about get these wars ended. End these wars. I'm sick of seeing wars. Children being murdered and things of any persuasion. I don't care what religion they are. I don't care what bloody political persuasion. I don't care about the ins and outs of wars. All I want to see is the end of them, and he says he's going to stop them, so we'll see. Right, I want to finish on a high point. So going back to Rachel Morin, and people had mentioned about her children. Remember she had 5 children, and when Rachel was murdered, we've looked at videos talking about it before. They all had to be split up and go because they were from different fathers. So, there was the family was sort of ripped apart, really. They were used to living with Rachel. Anyway, some good news is that Rachel's oldest daughter, Faye, has had a baby. So Rachel would now be a grandma. And let's have a look. I have shared it on the community post. What have I done with it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the picture? Oh, there it is. So yeah, this is Rachel's granddaughter. This is Rachel's previous partner. He's shared this on his Twitter post, which actually should have it. Let me read out the name and everything. So this little girl, she's called Laylin Rachel Ann. She was born on November the 13th at 5:50 a.m. She weighs 6 pounds 2 ounces, and she is 19.25 inches long. It's such a beautiful picture, but it's so bittersweet, isn't it? So Rachel won't see her grandma. Rachel won't see her granddaughter, but this little girl is her grandma. She's got a guardian angel in heaven that'll be looking over her. So it's so sad, isn't it? The thing is, the ripples from these murders and these cases that we look at, we always think of the victims, but there's more victims, aren't there, than just the actual people that are murdered, because the families of victims, like we've seen Rachel's mother, they're so upset. Rachel's ex-partner, he was devastated. The children are devastated. Rachel's had a boyfriend at the time who came under some suspicion. Obviously, when Rachel first disappeared, he was the first one everyone was looking at. There's all these victims. It's like ripples in a pool. And even this little girl is a victim because she won't know her grandma Rachel. And that twonk took that grandma away from her. It's disgusting. I mean, she'll have a lot of love and she's got a guardian angel in the sky, but it's so, they should add these things onto sentences. These should be taken into account. It's so it's so emotional because it's so lovely. A little one coming into the world. You could come into the world. There's always a lot of hope around, isn't there, when babies are born, and they've got their whole life in front of them, and you hope that they're going to have a good life. But she'd be missing her grandma. But then, hopefully, the grandma's looking over her. Ay. So there she is, little Laylin. So there's a bit of good news. And, life goes on, doesn't it? It's scary, isn't it, really? I was thinking about that the other day. Life does go on, even when the most horrible thing, you have to get up and put one foot in front of another. No matter what happens in your life, if you're still here, your mission on life is not over. That's that saying, isn't it? If you want to know if your mission in life is over or not, if you're still alive, it's not. There's a reason that you're here. We all sort of suffer sometimes from depression, mental health issues. We think, what the hell is it all about? I don't think there's many people don't ever feel like that, is there? But at the end of the day, you are here for a reason, whatever it is, you're here for a reason. And if you can't make sometimes you can make your life more tolerable by helping other people. There's always somebody that probably would benefit from a smile or a kind gesture. I've experienced so many kind gestures as well from my chatters and that. I get twonks as well, of course. I get the twonks and I get the nasty messages occasionally, very occasionally, emails, etc. But you know what? You have to take that as well, because if it wasn't for getting those horrible things, I wouldn't have all these lovely, you know what I mean? If I didn't do the YouTube channel, I've got to sort of take the occasional twonk and the occasional nasty email or nasty message, because the overwhelming amount of support that I get, and I always try to be fair in comments that I make, but I do have my opinion. Sometimes people don't like me having an opinion. I've noticed that. But anyway, I do have an opinion. But I don't decry anybody else's opinion, much as I don't like Donald Trump, for example. at the end of the day, the people voted for him, and that's democracy for you. So we just have to see what he does. I just hope he comes through with his promises for Rachel and for this little girl and for Rachel's mum. You know, I hope he does stick by what he said. Okay, so that was a real... Oh, Sephi, thank you so much. That's very generous. 10 memberships. Thank you so much, Sephi. Very kind. Very kind. That'd be... Hi, Rini. Yes, Sephi's very generous. Thank you. I'm not sure who let me just see who the others are. I can have a look on my other... Oh, Rennie, it would be nice to see you in members. So that's Deek has got a membership. Hi, Deek. Dexcon1, Tara TJ, Silverson, and Yvonne Flanagan. Oh, and Ellie G, Unity Calling, and Amy. Congratulations. And thank you to Sephi. Okay. So on that note, again, very generous. And I also want to say thank you again to Kelly, who sent a super sticker. Thank you again so thank you so much. And after that mammoth stream, so we've talked about the latest in Sarah's trial, Anna Knezovich and the murder charges of Davido, Jojo Duggan, which is a new case. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Duggan. I don't know why. Dullard, which is a new case. It's an old case, if you like, but looks like there's some activity on it, and somebody might be held to account for Jojo's murder. We've talked about Laken and Rachel, which of course their cases are intertwined. And something very interesting that's come up about these sanctuary cities. So I'm definitely be doing a video about that, about the sanctuary cities in the UK that we didn't even know about. Now we're going to find out about them. And I've got to research it though, because I don't know enough about it, but very interesting. So that's where we are. I hope you're all well. I hope you all have a good, where are we? We're on Friday, so have a good rest of the day or rest of the afternoon or rest of the evening, depending on where you are. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be back, but I will be back. Hasta la vista. So anyway, take care. That was a big one. I will, and just let me say, I will be chopping this up, editing it and making it into small ones, because some people like to watch the shorter videos and they don't like to watch a live. So I will be doing that. So those of you that have seen this mammoth chat, if you see those coming out, they'll be the ones that you've seen already. But sometimes people like to watch them again, because sometimes when they're in a live on the chat, they're not listening so much because they're obviously chatting. So, you know, at the end of the day, you just do what feels good for you. Okay, thank you again, Sephi, and I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with